Okay, let's talk property if we can. Opportunity for us to chat on all things property because it's the end of the year. And what a year it has been in the real estate market. ValueStrat have just released their review 2021 and their outlook for 2022. Makes for some interesting reading. An absolute pleasure to be joined live on the line by their head of real estate research at ValueStrat. It is Haider Tuaima, who joins us this morning. Haider, thank you so much indeed for being with us this morning, and the very best of the season to you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to all.
Let's start, if we may, with the year that was, and oh, what a year we've had. How do you and the team at ValueStrat sum up 2021 when it comes to property here in the region?
To sum it up, there are a lot of details behind it. Sum it up, it's a year of recovery from what we have seen in 2020. But that's on a smaller scale. On a larger scale, we were already in a down cycle that basically peaked in 2014. So 2020 represented bottoming out of the market, and this year represented the beginning of a new cycle.
In terms of, and a phrase that I like that you've used in the report, the beginning of the new normal in 2021. Is this the new normal?
Yes, well, right now we're hearing about the Omicron variant, and we are still uncertain about the impact of that on the market. We're talking about vaccinations. We have an excellent vaccination program here. We're talking about travel restrictions. So definitely we didn't have that before 2020. So this is indeed a new normal. We're using technology more than ever now, as I'm speaking to you through online method. I guess we're getting used to it now.
Let's move into the data then, the numbers, if you can. Give us a sort of indication of prices and rents for apartments, villas, and of course office space as well. Where do we stand at the end of 2021?
Well, by the end of 2021, if we talk about residential market, it's very useful to break it down into villas versus apartments. Because these two sub-markets are not performing at the same level. Villas are the one, basically that sub-market led the market upwards, with prices going up as much as 30% year on year. While with apartments, prices have gone up mostly in single digits this year. And we expect that to continue the same next year. But it was the villas, and particularly the prime locations, particularly waterfront locations. I'm talking about Palm Jumeirah, I'm talking about Jumeirah Beach Residence, I'm talking about Jumeirah Islands, and also areas, established villa locations such as Arabian Ranches, the Meadows, and so on. These areas are very highly desired, and I would dare to say undersupplied. So these areas are the ones that are currently moving the whole market upwards. But we are still, generally speaking, more than 20% below the 2014 peaks.
Has the profile of buyers here in the region changed?
Well, since 2020, and because of travel restrictions, we seem to notice that they're mostly local investors, domestic investors, and also investors coming in for Dubai, coming in from the Northern Emirates. That has increased. Now, we always have such investors, but at the moment they seem to be more than ever compared to international investors. And I think that's not surprising. It's due to the fact that many borders are still now closed and travel restrictions are still in place in many countries.
So that was the year that was. One thing we can rely on during 2021 was some pretty extraordinary property news coming out of Dubai, the UAE, and further afield. But what about 2022? You rightly say there, Haider, we finished the year with yet more confusion. There is a little bit of hesitancy out there amongst people, a little bit of confusion as to where we go next. What do you predict for the market for 2022?
I need that crystal ball again. I get this question every year. One thing for sure, and I think we mentioned that in the report, is that whatever we forecast, it seems the market outperforms our forecasts. So that has happened for many years now so far. And so here goes. So for the coming year, we expect the market continue its upward trend, but in a more healthy and gradual way. So it would not be, we don't expect it to overheat that what we saw in 2013 and 2014. So it's a more sensible increase. We're talking about single-digit increases as opposed to double-digit increases that we have seen this year.
In terms of the size as well, one thing we've seen this year, and one thing you've noted there is the move for villas. People want more space. Are we going to see more development of space as well? And what happens to the smaller apartments? Where do they fit into the market moving forward?
Well, there's always a demand for any property. The question is a demand and supply question. Yes, we looking at the data, we have seen that on average, the average size of a property was about 1,000 square feet. So overall, the whole year, 2019, the average size of a purchase property was 1,000 square feet. 2021 is doubled to 2,000 square feet. So it's not necessary that people are moving from apartments to villas. It's also moving from smaller apartments, upsizing. So from 3 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms, or from a small 3-bedroom apartment to a larger 3-bedroom apartment. So it's definitely there. And what happens to the smaller apartments? We have so much supply coming in, expected in the coming couple of years, particularly smaller apartments. So that's going to be a challenge for those apartments.
We will wait and see. Haider, really appreciate you looking into that crystal ball for us today. Loving the report as well. Do make sure that you get eyeballs on it. The ValueStrat Price Index report is a review of 2021, outlook of 2022. That was Haider Tuaima, the head of real estate research at ValueStrat.